Thank you. Now, we are moving from a 2 and 5th grade where you have to put your ideas into paragraphs that make sense and where you can potentially put a concluding sentence or a conclusion at the end of your paragraph. But a 3 means that you are grouping your ideas so that they make sense. You are putting them into separate and easily recognizable paragraphs, and that you have a concluding statement or a whole section that connects back to your topic. Now, the word conclusion or concluding means an end or a finish to something. So it is a whole section that will finish your ideas for an essay. A 4 is just a little bit more specific, and your conclusion, your ending, has to tie all the way back up to your beginning. So please go ahead and in the middle of our page, take this guided note. Concluding statement or section. Can I have a teammate please read the definition of what we need to do for a concluding statement or section? Troy.
The section or statement brings the paper together. A strong conclusion is not just say what has been said but highlight the idea that the writer wants to convey to the reader.
Thank you. So please go ahead and write this definition down, because as you're working on your conclusions today, you're going to make sure that you're not just restating what has been said, but you're highlighting the real ideas you want your readers to stick with. Writing down our definition of a concluding section. Right, much more. About this example, what you noticed, 10 seconds on your own. Any ideas that you have? Finish up some of your ideas to yourself. So 10 more seconds. Don't turn the back page yet. Now, turn and tell a teammate. What is something that you noticed about this essay so far? What is something that you noticed? Turn and talk at a level 2. Turn and talk. Why doesn't it? I don't know. Why? Okay, so by not having an indication, what makes it hard? Like why? Okay, so on this example, it might be a little hard to find it. And then that we turned out. Alright, wrap up those final ideas. Try and copy in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Can I have all eyes on me and all voices up? I've got about half of row 3. I've got almost all of row 4. Thank you, row 2. What is something that someone noticed about this student example so far? What have we noticed about this essay so far? Matthew and Nayeli.
That there's some text that is in bold.
So some of it's kind of funny folded. Okay, Nayeli.
And I think the problem is that it's kind of important, like important part of the essay.
Okay. Okay. Andrea and Raphael.
That it says what they think and feel.
Okay. Raphael.
They didn't indent.
What do you mean they didn't indent? Can you tell our teammates what an indent is? Sit up, sir.
An
So we can
indent
hear.
is when you're going to start a new paragraph, you have to put a space in between so your reader knows when a new paragraph has to start.
Okay. So why is it important to know when new paragraphs have started? Why do we need to know that? Why does it matter? Mauricio.
To know when a paragraph has started.
Why do we need to know that though? Why is that important?
To know when there's a new paragraph.
Can someone add on a little bit? Why do we need to know as readers when there's a new paragraph? Why does that matter? Matthew, Andrea.
Maybe because like maybe they would start reading the back of the page instead of the start.
Ooh, so they might not know where to start when they read? Andrea?
Wait, is there a question in there?
Why do we need to know when a new paragraph is starting?
Because then you're gonna confuse the reader. You might start with another subject and then end up getting crazy to read. In the same paragraph.
Okay. So all your ideas are just mixed in together and then might make you seem a little bit crazy. It might be a little confusing for your reader. Do you want to add on, Raphael?
I'll add on that you have to have a starting new paragraph so that your readers know that the first paragraph has ended and that you're going to start talking about something new.
Absolutely. So paragraphs are used to, one, help our reader understand where all of our ideas are, but also to recognize whenever we're going to be changing what we're talking about just a little bit. So go ahead and turn to the very next page. Now, this is the very same essay, but what is different about it? Very same essay, what is different about it? Jaslyn. Oh, I only want to hear it's what? It does look a lot longer, but it's the same amount of words. Troy, what do you think? What do you think?
I think that this is the same like the other one.
So it still has some bolded words, but what are some other differences that we see? Amir and Derek.
Okay, the words are a little bit bigger than the last one.
A little bit bigger. Derek?
This person actually indented.
This person indented. This person made sure that this is a very clear paragraph. That this is a very clear paragraph. And so what they're trying to do is help show off the different ideas that they have in their essay. So, whenever we look at our criteria for success, this is why we need to do this, so that we can help our readers and also clearly show off our ideas. So put ideas into paragraphs. So we are writing a 5-paragraph essay that has an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion paragraph. We are adding a concluding statement that summarizes ideas in your paragraph, and you need to indent each paragraph. As we are doing our work today, you are going to make sure you are doing each of these 3 things. Now, raise your hand if you have ever heard of a conclusion paragraph before.
Me.
Now, if you think you can tell our teammates what a conclusion paragraph is, why don't you keep your hand up? Miguel, what do you think a conclusion paragraph is? What's it for?
Conclusion paragraph is like the thing that's going to finish your paragraph, and it's for that it's like referencing like that it can connect back to your thesis.
Connects back to your thesis, it wraps up your ideas. Does anyone else add on? What is a concluding paragraph? What is a concluding paragraph? How does it help your reader, maybe? Joshua.
A conclusion paragraph is what ends the essay or the text, and it helps the readers know like what's the text and what they were talking about.
Yep, it helps conclude your overall argument, and it's kind of the last thing you leave your readers with, to remind them of everything you wanted them to learn in your argument. So now we're going to look at my essay so far with our Mike and his car example, and we're going to draft a really short, really fast conclusion, because we're just practicing at first, and I want you guys to see an idea of what a conclusion is for. So, here we have our Mike's New Rise essay. Can I have a teammate please read out my very first paragraph, which is my thesis statement. Miriam, loud and proud, please.
In Mike's New Rise, Mike's perspective changes throughout the video as he is intensely excited about the car, but this then turns into frustration and embarrassment.
Thank you. So my entire essay has to talk about Mike's perspective, how it changes, and then how I'm going to prove that is by character clues. By how he looks excited, then frustrated, then embarrassed. Now this is my thesis. This first sentence should be my assertion, because we all remember that assertions are the first sentence of a body paragraph. So my first assertion is about how Mike's beginning perspective is very enthusiastic, which is shown by how he speaks and behaves. All of the evidence in this passage in my evidence chart should be adding on and proving that. This is my second assertion. And it's talking about how he's very frustrated. Now my essay isn't quite finished, but normally whenever I write a conclusion, I'm going to write it last. It's going to be after I finish everything else in my essay, so I know what I want my readers to know and remember. So my conclusion so far, I need to remind my readers of what we're writing about and what I want them to learn about. So as always, I'm going to start with a transition word. I'm going to say to finish. I can also say to conclude. I can say overall. I can use like hundreds of thousands of different transition words, but I'm going to choose to finish for now. To finish, my experiences many different emotions as he tests out his new car. His first perspective of excitement is challenged and quickly turns to negative emotions. Which is shown by how he speaks and acts. So I only have two sentences here. Normally a conclusion will be just as long as my other paragraphs, but right now I want us to get used to just the idea of summarizing our ideas in our conclusion. So you're just really reminding the readers of what your argument is without saying the exact same idea the same way again. So essentially I'm trying to remind my readers of both what I'm arguing and of what we learned about it. So we learned that yes, his perspective is changing, And throughout my entire argument, I was proving that by how he acts and by what he says. Finishing up our notes. In 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you did not quite get everything down, that's okay. I can pass the paper around, or you can borrow from the team for just a few minutes. I want to show you how we are going to go ahead and begin drafting our final rough draft today. So this is a student example. So far we have an outline. It's got our thesis, our assertions, all of our evidence. And then we have an outline for an evidence chunk. What we are going to be doing today is we are going to be copying and pasting our argument so far, going down, and then copying it down here. And then we're going to slowly start building up our paragraphs. Now we need to indent our new paragraphs. But we need to make sure that we are copying and pasting and putting every single thing that we have in our argument down here. So at the end of all of our outlines, you have a place that says begin your final draft. That is where we are going to be creating our final essay. To copy and paste, what you will do is you need to highlight. You can highlight by clicking in one place and dragging your mouse all the way down. To copy something, you can use 2 fingers, press down, and go to the copy button. To paste it, you would go to where you want it, click down again, and hit paste. Now, what we need to do today, even if you are not quite finished with your evidence chunks, even if you're not quite finished with finding all of your evidence, you need to start drafting and putting what you have so far into your paragraphs. Once you have done that, yes, you can continue to go back and continue your argument. But I want to see that you have your paragraphs copied and pasted down, and you should be indenting them. Now, if you forget where your argument pieces, I should not be seeing teammates log in. We are not there yet. Please go ahead and track me. You've given us a resource that will help, and then we'll log in. If you happen to forget where things in your SMA go, you are going to use our reference guide. It tells you what should be in each single paragraph, and after each paragraph you need to indent. Now, we are about to start our writer's workshop during this time. This is my expectation. We are working independently out of 0. If you get stuck, you are using your references, your roadmaps, your online reference guide. I should be saying I got me and almost close. And 3. And 2. And 1. I should be on waiting and dust. To you teammates. Thank you all of row 3. Thank you row 4. Now, you will use your references to try and help. If you cannot move on without me, and you need a conference, you're going to raise your hand or message me, and I will check in with you as soon as I can. If you get stuck and cannot move on, you're going to go to Quill. Now, we are making our paragraphs first, and then you can continue drafting your argument. Please take 1 minute silently logging into our Chromebook. 1 minute silently logging into our Chromebook, heading to our writing document. Thank you all, rows 1 and 2. I see you guys earning some G's for that great just as you're silently logging in.